Okay, Aunt Mary, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from? And
I'm Mary Payne from Elliott. Recently from Paris, Payne, but I've lived in Calais now for what? Married for a
1949 you were married. And why did you come to Cowhead then? Was it to get married or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was Calais before that now, back before, but I just wouldn't live there.
Okay.
I come here in December for 49, and I've been here ever since. And I always had, my mother kept wool and keep sheep when I was home, so we all had to have our share of wool to pick. We had to do it. We had to pick our own wool was given to us, we had to pick that ourselves. And sometimes somebody might get lazy and want some else. You had to pick their own, and that was it. And so I always did pretty good with it. So, and I had sheep after I was married, right up until, my husband passed away in 57, and then a couple of years after that, I gave it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I still knit. Well, I still knit till, I haven't knit now for 3 weeks, I guess, since I didn't knit. My shoulders and hands were so bad, but they seem to be better now, so I think I'm going to try it again.
So how old are you now, Aunt Mary?
89.
89. And still knitting and can still pick.
I can still pick and I can still knit. Well, a few things I can still do for myself, I need a lot of help. This work-wise, but regardless of getting a meal for myself, I can get a meal, but I don't trust myself to cook much anymore. I can manage to get the breakfast for myself, and sometimes supper, but I usually got someone here to cook dinner for me, so that is a good thing. And I got good people. Thank God they're good to me, most of them, so that's something I got to thank for, I guess. And thank God I haven't had to go and stay in the hospital. That's something I don't want to ever do. I've seen too much of it.
So Aunt Mary, I remember well growing up. We lived across the road from Aunt Mary and spent a lot of hours at her house. And so this was not uncommon to see Aunt Mary picking wool, and they had
And sheep.
And shearing sheep, which we always loved to watch. And they had wonderful vegetable gardens.
Yes, wonderful ones. I wish I could say some now. Those days are past, so for me, so I say good luck to the ones that can still do it, and good luck to the crop. Yeah. Well, Patsy, Ronnie, you may not be keeping sheep, but you got the wool, so that's the main thing. You don't have to sheep. You don't have to bother with sheep.
Yeah, I was told I'm not allowed to have sheep.
Well, you got more time for your wool, my dear.
So Aunt Mary, what you sheared the sheep? So what can you lead us through the process of what happened then after you sheared the sheep?
Then you got to wash it, and you wash it by hand now. It's all bad. Now, some I did wash in the washer after I had a washer, but I couldn't. I just put it in the washer and wash it, and still really my hands, because you couldn't do anything with that bowl in the washer. Sometimes I did this if I had to do it in the house, because there wasn't so much dirt around. So, but mostly I washed it outside, and after you did shear sheep till probably June for you, some of them sheared. But we usually washed our wool. Well, before I come to Cali to live, we had a pond right by the house. So this fish did go under the pan, and sometimes that'd be warm enough that you would not warm it. In an hour then.
Yeah.
We used to eat a lot of sheep because it had big family. And hard work. I was well used to that before I ever got married. Hard work. That didn't bother me too much.
And after so you washed the wool and then you picked it?
Didn't we wash it and picked it, and then we had to dry it, and you get out and put on the probably wool sheet or something like that, and then you get it and turn it all over, take it all apart, and just to dry on top, and then to dry in the bottom. So I did that. I did it for a few years when I was down the Clods. Just to get out and fish for. I got a picture taken of when Jean's married him from North Dakota.
Oh yes, yeah.
I still have the picture. I still have that picture put in the paper.
Yes.
I put it in the
It's a
paper.
beautiful picture, yes.
So I was picking wool off. It wasn't hard. I didn't find it hard. But, and I did a lot.
Mm. So then you curded it.
Carded it, and then you had you carded, you had to card it, then you had to spin it. And then you had to spin it, then you had to put two lots together, and then you had to twist or whatever it's called.
You just did it.
It was, and I mean, it was hard work. I had a family besides, so
How many children did you have?
8
8 children.
4 boys and 4 girls. Unfortunately, I lost one a few years ago, but some people, but that's much to it. They, that's all I've lost yet. I hope I don't really know.
So Aunt Mary, you had told me that you didn't dye your own wool, but do you remember?
I did dye some. It was for a time I did dye, like when it was double knits and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then when they got so we was in the, you wouldn't get dye. But that's what I used to do it.
Yes.
I said bags and bags. I sold bags too. True. And it was all work or something that had to be done. If you had sheep, that was it.
How did you dye it? What did you dye it with? I should.
We used to dye the pack dye then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For dye then.
Yeah.
Instruction was on there, you know, how much you could dye or how much what or whatever you had to use. But it used to be pretty good. And then when we could send it away, we would send and get a car, but it was a lot easier. So I had to pick it and
Yes.
do everything with clear. Some
So
people did send away, not wash, but not me. I mean, you do.
So I would imagine your mother would not have had package dye
No,
in the
she
beginning.
Well, she did after I left away.
Yes.
She did not have it before I left. Sometimes she'd get some kind of birch, I think it was, spruce or something, and dye it whatever color you could get. Just dye it and then dye it.
Yeah. They use plant material. They use plants. Yeah. Mm.
But I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and but you know, I guess we knew we had to do this, so we didn't. We did. I often wonder now how I ever done it. I often wonder how I raised 8 children and done what I done. I don't understand. Now, if they got 2, they got to do it.
Because you not only had to see to your sheep and your animals and your
But
gardens,
just see, I didn't only have the sheep, take care of the sheep and animals and the garden and all this. I had a family to take care of too. So when they grew up and when they got big enough to help, they did help. That's it. Some of them now don't wash their own underwear.
so I guess you did lots of cooking and making bread.
Oh my dear God.
I know you did, but
Yes, you know that as well as I do. That was nothing new for me to cook and mix bread and go in the garden and come out and I don't understand it, Donald. What I've done then is, well, it had to be done. So you just went on and worked your way till you dropped most of the time. That was it. That was life then. I don't know if it caused this life now or not. When anyone's so used to working so hard and comes down to what it is now.
it was a wonderful life.
Oh, it was a good life. Way better than it is now. To me. You get what I mean? Now you don't know if you should move, if you're going to catch this or if you're going to catch that. Of course, I don't move very far now, but thank God I can still get around and still do a few things.
And Uncle Stanley helped in the gardens, and
Oh, we used to help in the gardens when he was around. Well, he always helped in the gardens. That's one thing he did do. You're a man helping the gardens?
He helps get it ready in the spring.
Yeah.
He goes up and tills it up
That's the
and
main thing.
that part. But yeah, once it's time to plant, then it's on me.
It's on you, yeah. This is it. Usually on me too when it's time for the plant and potatoes. Yeah, do that.
My dad helps with the potatoes. But small seed,
Yeah.
that's me.
and I helped with the weeding. I'm taking it
That
off.
weeding till you had to go do that. I stopped sometimes and wonder how it did. You had to go in and weed the gardens. And we had gardens a lot. Because I mean, we had a big family and we would had potatoes last year around. And then when we started sitting in here after I was married a while, used to have them visible besides that. And you were home again, you know. So, I had to have time out for, I mean, you always had to cook. So.
What I remember about the vegetable gardens was that Aunt Mary used to she used to save the small potatoes for
Yeah.
us to bake bonfire night.
Yeah.
Because we used to bring all our boughs, we'd start when school opened and we'd go and cut boughs and the boys would cut them, the girls would have to haul them out.
Yeah.
So we'd have a huge bonfire and Aunt Mary would save the small potatoes so that we could roast them in the fire on bonfire night.
Yeah.
Precious
I remember
memory.
that, yeah. I forgot all that.
And then we'd smut ourselves, of
Ah.
course.
Didn't stop yourself.
Then we'd smut ourselves, yeah.
Oh my. I'm trying what it used to be. Didn't used to be good one time. Didn't used to be good on face.
Not good on the face, no. No.
Yeah.
We
had lots of fun.
We'd take a piece of wood from the fire and we'd wet it.
Yeah.
And so then when you rubbed it, you'd get the smut, we called it, off. And then you'd go around and smut each other's face.
Oh my God.
Our parents wouldn't be very happy with us when we
Oh, they
came home.
The times they wouldn't be very happy.
Okay. Thank you, Aunt Mary.
Yeah.